Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harrison. I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books. Today we have a discussion on fantasy and sci-fi books. It is my Friday recap. I'm going to be going through what I've read this week, what I'm reading next week, what videos I've made this week, what videos I'm making next week, and then any other stuff that I kind of want to add in to chat about. I don't know if we have anything else this week, but let's go straight into the books that I have been reading. So I started the week with finishing The Tyranny of Faith by Richard Swan. I absolutely love this book. I gave it 5 stars. It's between this and Prophet of Adan for being the best book I've read so far this year. Absolutely loved it. It is, like I said, there's a review already on the channel. It's the sequel to The Justice of Kings, and absolutely nobody is watching this video review for some reason. Sequel reviews, I know, do quite poorly, but this one is doing weirdly poorly for a book that is very much in the zeitgeist right now. So if you want to go watch a review of mine, then watch this one. Although it does have minor spoilers for The Justice of Kings, so you may want to, read, watch, etc. So, really love The Tyranny of Faith. One of the best books I've read in ages. Definitely number 1 or 2 of best books of 2023 for even 2024 so far. Next up, I started, so as you know, I like to go fantasy sci-fi, or at least I'm trying to at the moment, and I read Golden Sun by Pierce Brown, which is the second book in the Red Rising first initial trilogy. I really enjoyed this book. I did think it was an improvement over Red Rising, which is funny because I had thought this book was worse than Red Rising when I initially tried to read it in 2017. So I mentioned it before, but I read the first Red Rising book and then I started Golden Sun, and I thought that I'd only got like 100 or so pages in, but I'd actually read 67% of it, so I'd read most of the book before DNFing it. And that definitely didn't happen this time. I went straight into Golden Sun, absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars initially, but I've actually just recorded my review, so you'll notice I'm wearing the same t-shirt in all these videos. I've just recorded my review for Golden Sun, and I have to say, when I was discussing it as part of the review, I ended up taking a star off. So it's gone back down to a 4 star. However, don't take that as a negative. It's still a really good book, and it was on the bubble from being 4 and 5 star. So it's really more that it just kind of, the few criticisms that I had of the book, and they are few, I think dragged it down from being a 5 star to a 4. Even though I'd got that 5 star feeling with the book in many scenes, I think that I had a few quibbles, or I had a few minor criticisms, which together all kind of came together as I think this is going to be more like a high 4 star than a low 5. I don't like to do 0.5s or 0.75s or anything like that. I'm a whole numbers kind of guy, because I like to be kind of unequivocal in my opinions. So 4 stars is what it's going to be. I'm going to edit that on Goodreads and Storygraph after I record this video. I would still recommend it though, and I'm going to be reading Morningstar in March. So if you're a Red Rising fan, then stick with the channel. Currently, I own all 6 Red Rising books. So, and I'm kind of, sort of planning on reading one a month when I have, my schedule allows. So keep your eyes on the channel, and you'll see more Red Rising content. Finally, I got back to the biggest surprise of 2024, The Wheel of Time. So you guys may have seen, I recorded my non-spoiler review for Eye of the World, and I also recorded my full spoiler discussion with Matt from Bask in the Story, who I am reading The Wheel of Time together with as a full body read. Now, I was massively surprised by Eye of the World. I thought that it would be like purple prose. I thought it would be a slog. I thought it would be hard to read my way and get my way through. but I ended up loving it. And I actually ended up reading it quicker than I expected, which, considering it's a 700-page, very dense book, is pretty phenomenal. Now, this book is also a 700-page, pretty dense book. For transparency, usually record these videos on Fridays, but I had all the video stuff set up and I was recording 3 other videos. So I was like, let's just do it all in one shot. And I actually have only been reading this for 2 days, and I have already got 100 pages in. So normally with Wheel of Time books, well, with Either World, and my target for this one is to read 100 pages a day. However, I did go to the cinema, so I lost most of my reading time for the first day that I started this. I only read like a chapter before going to bed. So I would hope that by the end of today, I'll be able to get to 200, maybe 250 pages, and then that'll keep me on track for the reading schedule. But so far, really enjoying it. Loving the extra perspectives we've got. We had a great chapter from the perspective of Moraine that I enjoyed, and it's cool to see the kind of fallout from the previous book, if that makes sense, or like what happens next. From memory, I think that discussions I've seen online have said that Jordan basically wrote these back to back and then realised he didn't have an ending for Either World. So kind of wrote and put one together. But this one really does feel very much like it was written back to back with Either World, simply because it doesn't feel like any time has passed, because, I think like a month or so or some weeks has passed, but it does not feel like any time has passed, which is great for me, because hardly any time has passed for me since I read this at the beginning of January. What am I going to read next? So I'm being bullied by Ross from Hardy's Books, and he's forced me to make this my next read on my schedule, which is Howling Dark by Christopher Rocchio. And this is my beautiful trade paperback, courtesy of, I believe, Jake from Andrew Watson's Discord. If I'm incredibly wrong, I apologise to the person who did send this, but I'm sure it's Jake. So I've got this lovely, big, thick trade paperback. I'm excited to get to this one because Ross has been saying some real good things about this one. And I trust him and his book reading opinions. So this is what I'll be reading next. This is the sequel to Empire of Silence. Also, the other reason I'm excited for this one is I read The Lesser Devil, which is the novella that takes place between book 1 and 2, and I genuinely love that. I thought that was better than The Empire of Silence. So if Howling Dark is better than that, which basically everyone says, then I'm in for a real good time with this book. Let's talk about videos. So this week I have made 4 videos, as usual. I don't have the stats for today's video. Today is Thursday. I don't have the stats for this video because it's not out yet. So I'm recording this over my lunch break, as you know, I said I'm backing up a load of videos at once. That particular video will go out today at 5 p.m. So quite a lot of time before now and then. So I don't know how well that one's done. Last week's Wandering In video did basically the same as normal, which is around 100 views. Although it's quite funny, if I go back through, every single week, a few more people start watching the series. So it always gets around 100 in a week. And then if I look at, say, for example, 2 weeks ago's video, that's on 130. And then so is the one from before. So people do seem to be going back and watching and working their way through these Wandering In videos, which is great. I really love the Wandering In. And I love making the videos. I like making these, and I have really enjoyed them. Now they're going to 1 chapter a week, because I feel like I'm not rushing them, that I can have more time to look through the chapter and make notes and all this sort of stuff. Whereas before I was going like, I must read 2 chapters, I've got to rush it through. So I actually quite like now that it's a bit more manageable. And I also only have to make one video clip. Now I do one chapter a week. Whereas previously I was doing intro clip, each chapter, outro clip. So it's better to do it all as one. Anyway, this week I have done 2 book reviews. The Tyranny of Faith by Richard Swan, which is the second book in the Empire of the Wolf, and Return of the Griffin by J.C.M. Byrne, which is the second book in the Hybrid Helix. Both of those have not performed incredibly well. I was expecting Tyranny of Faith to do a lot better than it has as a review. So as I said before, please do watch that review if you've read the book, or if you've read Justice of Kings and you want to know whether you should read Tyranny of Faith. The spoiler answer is yes, you should read Tyranny of Faith. It's just as good. But both of them have not done particularly well. We had a fantastic week for subscribers last week. I think last week was the biggest subscriber week of all time. We had over 40. But this week has been quite slow, which is a shame because I'm going to record my 6 months on booktube video. No, I'm not going to do that. That'll be next week. So maybe then we'll have hit 400 subscribers, which is insane. And we're actually quite close to that. And I gained a lot of the subscribers at the end of the week on the weekend. So, yeah. From you to me, I have no idea how all this subscribers stuff works. I know how people, click subscribe, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know why people choose to subscribe. I'm assuming it's my winning personality. And the water breaks. I'm sure everyone loves that. But I don't know. I have a lot of fun making these videos. And the more people that join the community, the more people that subscribe to the channel and watch the videos, the more kind of motivation that gives me to put more effort and time into the channel. So, yeah, at the moment, I put in, I don't know whether I could put more effort in. Can I make more videos? If I had more subscribers, I would probably think about making a few more videos. But at the moment, I feel like what we do is quite sustainable. Let's talk about, so subscriber growth. Let's have a look at the last 7 days, actually. Let's look. We have got, the last 7 days, 26 subscribers over the last 7 specific days, which is worse than normal, like quite a bit worse than normal. I normally get around 30 to 40 in a week. But as I said, the weekends are often the busy time for people watching YouTube. So I guess we'll find out. And also a lot of people come in from the Wandering In videos as well. So, and that one hasn't gone up yet this week. So it's a bit weird to record this on a Friday, actually. But I knew that I wouldn't be able to finish The Great Hunt because I was only 100 pages in. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to finish The Great Hunt by Friday. I might as well do the video and then blah, blah, blah. However, is that a failure? Should I have still waited till Fridays? I think as the next week, my son is home from school all week. So most of those videos are probably going to be evening videos because otherwise he's just too noisy. He's such a noisy boy. Yeah, so I thought I would get this one done with some good daylight because I never know when tomorrow is going to work out video wise. So after that really weird ramble about something you probably don't really know all that much about or don't care about, I think we're actually at the end of that video. When it comes to other stuff, so non-books, I have been playing some video games. So I played about 4 or 5 hours of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League before returning the game. I know that it's quite popular to dunk on this game and that a lot of people are like, oh, it's not that bad. But honestly, I do feel like it is that bad. There's a lot of very pivotal decisions made very early on in the development, which I think were the wrong decisions. So, like, for example, getting all of these characters with these, you know, unique characteristics, and then just giving them all guns, and making the, you know, the way that you interact with the game shooting, it's just not as exciting as something like, if you look at the Marvel's Avengers game, you know, Thor had hammer and lightning, and Captain America had his shield, and Iron Man had his armor, and we had all these different kind of character kits and all these different ways to play the game, ways to interact, whereas every single character in the Suicide Squad feels exactly the same to play. The only difference is the way that they do jumps, and 3 out of 4 of those are terrible, so you just end up playing as one character. I don't want to go too deep into it, but essentially it's scraped to 2 out of 5, and that 2 out of 5 is mostly on visual polish, because it's an incredibly good looking game, and the voice acting is fantastic, but the actual gameplay is some of the worst I've willingly chosen to play, and not just stopped after 10 minutes. I also have picked up Helldivers 2, which I will be playing over the weekend. I think I'll try and get a session in with some friends. And I did also start watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Amazon Prime, which is kind of like a spy thriller. It's starring Donald Glover and Maya Erskine. Erskine? Anyway, it's starring those two actors, and is kind of like a spy thriller with the vibe and energy of Master of None from Netflix, which was kind of like an indie dramedy starring Aziz Ansari, and Noel Wells, and I loved Master of None. And this show really gives me that sort of same vibe and feeling and energy. So I'm definitely going to be watching more of that. But you guys aren't here to talk about Amazon Prime TV. You're here to talk about books. And as I said previously, next book I'll be reading is Howling Dark. I imagine that when we come back to talk for next week's end of the week recap, I will have just finished The Great Hunt and just started Howling Dark. So I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about both of those books. And please make sure to like this video if you liked it. Drop a comment down below if you read any of these books and you'd like to discuss them, though please no spoilers. And subscribe to the channel because it makes all the difference in the world. Let's get to 400 before I record that booktube 6 months video, because while technically I didn't really take booktube seriously until September of 2023, I did start the channel in August, so my 6-month anniversary will be the 18th. I won't be posting it on the day, it will be the closest Tuesday to that, but look forward to that video. And if you've got questions, actually, if you have questions about what it's like to do booktube for 6 months, and how I found it or anything like that, pop them down in the comments and I will answer them in that video. Thanks so much for watching and for liking, commenting, and hopefully subscribing. And I will speak to you on Monday. And that'll be the Golden Sun review on Monday, by the way.